Hello, Star Wars Galaxy of Places and Tesh Shorto. Today I'm going to be covering Geonosis Separatist Might, the details on character kits on the dark side territory battles that you face, all the light side characters you face, and what we could potentially see in Galaxy of Heroes as reworks, add-on, or characters added in, etc. But yeah, I thought I already did one for the other side, so why not do it for this side and see what we could do with it. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll through. These first few are basically the same kits that are in the game already. So we're going to start out with pawns. When I go through these kits, I'll probably say that some of these probably will be nerfed a little bit because they'd probably be a little too powerful at the time. But CT411 pawns. Calculated attack, deals physical damage to target enemy, deals 5% more damage for each debuff on allies. So if you're having constantly facing enemies that debuff you a lot, bounty hunters, Empire, Sith, those main ones, First Order, here you go. You can get some more damage on his basic, especially if you have as long as your team doesn't have daze or stun, you can call everyone to assist. Pawns will really hit hard. So that's going to help. Inflict mark on target enemy and gain tenacity for 2 turns. Can't be evaded or resisted. I like this. It inflicts a mark so you can permanently target someone for the next, it doesn't say how many turns, unfortunately. But I'm sure it'll say maybe 2 turns or something. But it's like a forced taunt in a sense. So that you know that a taunt's about to activate. You're marking the one you want to target. And then a taunt pops up. I don't see him ignoring taunts at all. Heck, they could make him ignore taunts. That wouldn't be too bad. But who knows. And he gains tenacity up, which is nice. Deal physical damage to all enemies. And inflict speed down and critical chance down for 2 turns. It's not bad. And then he has the unique, when pawns falls below 50%, he equalizes with the enemy. Limit once per battle. So it's just a one-time per battle thing. So it's not bad. Actually, it's kind of unique. It's a really unique effect. So I'd hope to see that in his kit. Whenever an ally is inflicted with a debuff or an enemy buff, or an enemy gains a buff, pawns gains 5% turn meter. So that ain't too bad, honestly. One thing I will say is once we get the character, they probably will add a few extra stats, like it gets a little bit of protection, potency, tenacity, something to boost him up a little bit. But aside from that, it's not pretty good. That's not bad. It's a pretty good kit. I don't see any nerfing of that, but I do like the mini self-savior kind of thing with pawns. Next is Clone Arc Trooper. Now, before I get into ARC Trooper's kit, I want to say this kit is different than the current ARC Trooper we have in game. And what all they have to do to change that is the current ARC Trooper be called the 501st ARC Trooper. This ARC Trooper, they can actually give it to 212th if they ever bring in the 212th Attack Battalion. For General Kenobi, Cody, this ARC Trooper, they'd have Waxer and Boyle, Gregor, there's some options there. So if it was like General Kenobi, Cody, Waxer, Boyle, and then the 212th ARC Trooper, that wouldn't be too bad. That'd be a team of 5 right there. And then if you do add in Gregor, even though I'd hope to see Gregor with the Bad Batch, or not the Bad Batch, sorry. wrong mini faction, but the D Squad, the Galactic Republic droid team, which would be cool to see some more droids come in. A month where we get a bunch of droids. That would actually be cool to see. That would be cool to see him in there. And then you could actually sub him in for one of the other clones and then have that clone under Shock T as an extra. Once we get extra clones in each little battalion and legion, extra ones would go under Shock T. So yeah, I do like this kit. I wish they'd actually keep it. But deal physical damage to target enemy, inflict potency down and speed down for 2 turns. Deal physical damage to all enemies and daze them for 2 turns. Dispel all debuffs on target ally and they gain entrenched. Now this is where I will say things may change. They may actually have it work a little differently with the I mean the 212th, but 50% defense, I see that. Maybe they'll have it where it's 25% defense, doubled for clone trooper allies or whatnot, and then deal 25% more damage for each trenched ally when attacking. They'd probably lower that to 5 or 10%, and then maybe doubled again. And I wouldn't mind seeing at least another stat boost for the playable entrenched, like maybe tenacity, potency, and just leave it at that. Nothing too crazy. But then whenever they're attacking, and recover 5% health and protection at the start of turn. So this is a nice, cool buff, and I would like to see that actually make it in. And then United Front, Arc Trooper, at the start of battle, Arc Trooper, and 2 other, it would probably just go down just to the weakest ally, gain entrenched. So when Arc Trooper's active, another weakest, but whenever they're entrenched ally, and then whenever he's active, whenever entrenched ally is defeated, all entrenched allies cooldowns are reduced by 2. So this could actually be really good, especially if you do throw this kind of kit under like General Kenobi. There's already defense, and you're adding more defense. Heck, like even this could actually add some critical avoidance, or maybe another clone that says if it's entrenched, or if any clone allies are clone or Galactic Republic or whatever allies are entrenched, they get like crit immunity or something. This kit could also work pretty well under Padme, giving more damage, but also making them more bulkier, especially with how Padme teams work. So it'd be kind of cool to see this kit, this specific ARC Trooper come in. Again, like I said, it could be a 212th Attack Battalion ARC Trooper. It could just be just a plain ARC Trooper, one with like maybe something different. I don't know. But I would love to see this actual kit make it into the game, aside from the current ARC Trooper we do have. And again, like I said, just name this one the Clone ARC Trooper and just be a basic, while the other one is the actual 501st ARC Trooper. Next is Clone Commander. Simple, deals physical damage to target enemy, 8% chance to inflict ability block on a basic. That's cool. All allies gain critical chance up for 2 turns. That's not bad. And then gain 50% turn meter. And also gain additional 20 for each defeated ally. So, if you have a few extra defeated allies, they get more turn meter. So they're speeding up. They're getting their stuff done. Trying to, bring back the battle into your favor. And then Destructive Tactics. Call allies to assist, dealing 15% more damage if the target is defeated. Dispel all debuffs. Grant them 50% turn meter. And this ability's cooldown is reduced by 3. So I don't know about the cooldown reduced by 3 part. They probably had something else in there. Depending on what the cooldown is, probably be 2 to 3 turns. So, yeah. But then, while Clone Trooper Commander is active, all character speed are set to... This part I don't see happening. Setting every character speed to 150, so everyone's going at the exact same time. I will admit that would ruin Droideca's damage output a little bit, and just a lot of characters would just change the game. I don't know if they do that because there might be some broken team with him. They probably throw, yes, Galactic Legend Rey might, utilize this character, but other, clone teams might actually utilize this as well. But with Clone Commander, we also got Clone Sergeant. The one thing I want to mention about him is just his extra ability. I would like to see this added on. It would also help boost his ship up in galactic power a little bit, especially since it's like a tank anyways. It makes him a little more sturdier. But deal physical damage to target enemy and call target ally to assist. These attack have 50% crit chance. And Clone Sergeant and the target ally gain crit damage up for 2 turns. It's not bad. But what I want to say about these two, there's a couple of more. The Clone Commander, which is yellow. Sergeant, which is green. I think blue is Lieutenant. Red is Captain. And then the regular white Clone Trooper. All those can actually be fitted into the game and utilized in one way or another, some unique kit, to where they can actually work under a Shock T. So you can actually have Shock T used in a clone fashion where other clones are being used in other fashions, and then maybe extras are thrown under Padme. Who knows? But I just want to mention that really quick. So, but I do like Clone Sergeant getting another ability. Maybe this would be probably a Zeta ability, because I wouldn't be surprised. Clone Sharpshooter. He's kind of yellowish by the looks of him. But Deal physical target enemy. This tech can be evaded by debuff targets, so even if they have damage over time. Wow, this is just unavoidable. This is actually kind of a cool thing. I wouldn't mind seeing more of these unavoidable effects, but actually based. You have to kind of jump through a hoop just to get to it. Then you have the armor shred ability. This is an annoying thing. Exposing for 3 turns, probably 3 times would probably be down to 1 time, 1 to 2 times instead. And then Clone Sharpshooter attacks using his basic ability. This ability can't be evaded, so it just also makes sure that they can be evaded. Then again, his basic can be evaded anyways, especially with armor shred. It can't be resisted, so that's always nice. Expose all enemies for 2 turns, can't be evaded, and then he gains stealth for 3 turns, which is kind of cool. But still, I wouldn't mind this. Like, get some more armor shred characters out there. A few more here and there wouldn't hurt. Giving Clone Troopers an armor shredder would be nice. It would be nice, especially for those that do play Shock T. And like I said, adding all these other different Clone Troopers in, because I'm about to get to the other 3 I mentioned, the red, the blue, and the basic Clone Trooper. But adding all these different Clone Troopers in, it would give Shock T something to work with so that the 501st could be literally elsewhere. Like, literally, Shock T in some aspects of the game is better than Rex Lead, but at a lot of the times, if you run Rex Echo 5s, R2-D2, and Zeta Barris, you can literally pull off a pretty defensive, and it can beat General Grievous, it can beat Darth Revan, and I think it can beat Padme? I'm not sure. Depending on how your health is on the entire team, it's insane. Like, if you have a lot of health on 5s and he's taunting, and Zaris is like, recovering 20% of it, that's going to be, you have to do like more than 20% to really damage 5s. And if you do way less, like if you do 5% of that damage, you'll heal up really well. So, still, it gives some more flexibility of what you want to use these clones for. And then, like I said, Clone Trooper. So, basic Clone Trooper, the white Clone Trooper, kind of like the Stormtrooper, kind of like the First Order Stormtrooper. I would like to see this kind of character in the game. Deals physical damage to our enemy, inflict damage over time, with his basic. Clone Valor, gain taunt defense up for 3 turns, and retribution for 2 turns. And then while this clone is buffed, he recovers protection equal to the damage he deals. So he has like a protection steal instead of a health steal. The clone, I know they did Clone Troopers Captain and Lieutenant the same way, but the other 2 could probably be something different, like support characters, an attacker, something. Or maybe a different tank, but in a different kit, different type of tank kit. Or one of those support tanks, like a support character that has the taunt ability. But still, this is the Clone Trooper that we do need as a tank. 5's just, he doesn't cut it as much as you'd want him to. Like, honestly, he does well, but the downside is to really utilize his abilities, you want him to actually not taunt, so that when like Rex or 5 or Rex or Echo or ARC Trooper die, and then he dies, grants all of his buffs, but you'll still have a tank. So you can actually go either Rex or 5's lead, and then go Rex, Echo, 5's, ARC Trooper, and then basic Clone Trooper. And there you go. You still got a taunter. And as long as he's taunting, 5's doesn't have to taunt all the time and take all the damage. Because everyone wants to kill 5's first, but this would actually kind of prevent that in a way. But this is a basic kit. I would love to see more basic kits like this as well. Clone Medic, I do like his kit. I just don't like the loss of health. Like, maybe drop it to like they lose, or revive at 50 health, maybe like, and then he takes bonus damage equal to 25%. So he only takes like 25% health, so he's still at 75%, but the clone, or if they want to do the 50%, also add like 25% protection or something to give them a little bit more survival ability, or give some sort of like buff to them. But aside from that, it's kind of cool that we would actually see a clone medic. I would like to see this in the game as well. That's a lot of clones. So, and this is the last of the clones. But I hope, like I said, I hope we get some of these clones into the game, as well as some of the reworks, like with Sergeant. GK, these ones are in. Our Kiadi Mundi's better. Mace Windu. I do like the shatter point on Mace Windu, so I hope that we actually get that on Mace Windu in the future. It'd be kind of cool. That I feel like that would actually really make him like, yeah, he could be a taunting tank, but if he, starts hitting people, he'll hit them, grant them shatter point. If they're not cleansed, he'll hit them again, and boom. Especially if you have like a lot of call to assist, like if you did throw him under a, um, I'm trying to think of her name, Jedi Basila lead. He's taunting. Like if either one go first, they call to assist, and then if it's their next turn, either Mace or Basila is either call the assist or he actually attacks. He'll do massive damage to that character. So if it's actually a tank, like Sith Trooper, for example, it's gonna hurt quite a bit. So you got to be careful with those, with that debuff. So I think it'd be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind seeing a Padawan Anakin in the game. Just something different because this one's kind of based on Jedi Knight Anakin. I would like to see something a little different. Padawan Mind Trick wouldn't be too bad to have on him. Has 50 crit damage. Always critically hits. I don't know about that. Yeah, and I do like the idea that he has what the original Jedi Knight Anakin was before he got reworked, as well as this one. Like, he's kind of reckless, so he actually would expose himself for a couple of times. I wouldn't mind seeing that happen as well. So, something unique and different but still giving us this. Of course, I would still like to see Padawan Anakin actually synergize with Padme, because he was still, yeah, that's the Anakin that got married, not the Jedi Knight Anakin. Yeah, different Padme, but I definitely don't want to see a pregnant Padme in the game. That's just, to me, it seems like too not so fine because she's pregnant. You'd be killing a pregnant lady in a game. Yeah. So, but who knows? Shakti's in the game. Ayla's in the game. Barris. I would like to see Ayla, Eth Koth, I'm Gonna Die reworked. Kit Fisto reworked. Luminara, Consular, Guardian. Vanguard. I wouldn't mind to see Vanguard in the game. Just keep his, kit the same. The expose effect, 70% chance to inflict defense down. Taunts. He's at full health. He has 100% counter chance. Otherwise, he has 100% health. So that is actually not a bad option. I like that in a tank. Especially if you start him off, he's taunting at the beginning, like with Wat Tampa, for example, or Jedi Basila. He's taunting. Honestly, I'd say keep this tank like it is, especially for like Jedi Basila teams. It'd be kind of cool. Inflicting exposes and then countering all the time. It'd be kind of cool. Sentinel, dealing physical damage to target enemy. If it's not at 100% health, they recover 10% of their health. Deal physical damage to all enemies. If it's stealth, remove 50% of the turn meter. That's nice. When Jedi Sentinel is damaged, they gain stealth for a turn, and whenever Jedi Sentinel loses stealth, they recover 2% of their max health. I wouldn't mind to see, they lose stealth, they recover maybe 3% of their max health and protection. Be kind of cool. Aside from that, I don't think there's many ships added. Oh, yeah, V19, I wouldn't mind seeing V19 in there, because we got 2 capital ships for the Republic. Just like we have 2 Empire ships. We need more ships for these factions so we can have actual 2 fleets you can work with. Of course, one of the Empire fleets will probably pull the bounty hunters with them until we get something like maybe a Hondo capital. It'd be like, if you actually see it, it'd be kind of similar to Negotiator, where it's multiple ships in the picture. It'd be just multiple of, like, maybe 3 of those, like, disc-shaped, like, frigates. And it'd be kind of cool to see, Hondo be a capital ship for scoundrels, bounty hunters, and cargo ships. And maybe even pirates if they add some pirate ships in. But yeah, V19, I wouldn't mind seeing this. Inner battle. Like, doesn't have a lot of stuff to it. Like, I could see a unique being added to it. I wouldn't be surprised if they did add the V19. It'll probably just be a... unless they give it to Cody, but I highly doubt it. A lot of the latest TIE Bomber, Y-Wing, Hyena Bomber, Republic Bomber, and then of course, the 2 droid starfighters make sense. The droid starfighter and bomber makes sense, but like the other 3 are pilotless ships just to make it easier for in-game building, and it makes sense. So, So this will probably definitely be one of those type of ships. We have this, we have this, we have this, we have this, that, and that's it. So these are my, my suggestions of adding to the game. It'd be kind of cool to see what we could actually see come to the game, either be reworks or just new. Well, most of this was just new characters. The one, rework was the sergeant, but giving him an extra ability wouldn't hurt. Um, so yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree? Should we get all these characters in the game? I think the one I really want to push for more for is both Pawns and Arc Trooper, a new version of Arc Trooper, either a different one or just a clone Arc Trooper, where the current one is 501st Arc Trooper. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and you guys have a phenomenal day.